There's a line all of you should permanently carve in your brain. Never disclose your plans to anyone. Never. Never tell your plans, your targets, your goals prematurely. This is something you should avoid at all costs. People have this inherent tendency to share their ideas and goals before they have actually happened. They live their life in imaginations. This creates a sense of false accomplishment. They subconsciously think that they've already achieved them. This affects their motivation to actually do them. Moreover, when people get to know your plans beforehand, sometimes you are met with unrealistic expectations from them. Sometimes you are met with questions and skepticism. Or worse, the plan which once sounded realistic and achievable is now sounding completely unrealistic or unachievable. The fire in you starts to dim. But the most important thing is, why does all of this happen when you share your plans prematurely? What's the psychology behind it? How does it affect your motivation and the burning fire inside you? And why you should never disclose your plans? To know the answers of all of these questions, you need to stick around, because at the end of the video, you will have a detailed yet comprehensive outline of why you should never reveal your goals and why you should be the individuals of actions, not of words. Revealing your plans prematurely can hinder your progress, invite negativity, and diminish your motivation. In the words of Tony Robbins, energy flows where attention goes. Focus on your execution, not on explaining your intentions. Let's explore why keeping your plans confidential can be a powerful strategy for achieving success. The human psyche is programmed in a specific way, which forces them to seek external validation, appreciation, and constant need for approval. There is this psychological need to feel accepted, heard, and valued by other people, even though if they do get this need fulfilled, it doesn't help them in any way. It's natural. Some people use it as encouragement and motivation. But what role does this need for external validation plays in prematurely disclosing your plans? Announcing our goals beforehand proved to be an achievement itself. The positive reactions, cheers, pats on the back, all of these things give a sense of having already achieved your goals. But in the long run, disclosing the goals becomes a trap. The brain releases serotonin and other reward chemicals. This is a form of false serotonin rush. Psychologists refer to this as a form of social reality. When you discuss your plans, you are unknowingly inviting criticism. People may begin to follow your progress or provide unwanted advice, which can increase pressure. Rather than focusing on execution, you may spend more time managing expectations or justifying delays. In the words of Ryan Holiday, talk depletes us. It's better to channel your energy into the work than the words about the work. When you prematurely share your plans, there's a huge risk of sabotaging the whole plan and strategy. When you disclose a super plan to certain, or something which is out of their reach, they may start to project their own fears and lack of motivation on you and your ideas. This subconsciously allows you to step back or doubt your strategic plan. For example, you tell somebody that you're starting a certain business, and this is how you plan to start and do things, and you suddenly hear, "That's too risky, it will never work," or "You will never be able to make this business successful." Doubts will surely start to creep in. You might even consider dropping the whole idea. This is the risk of sharing your plans to somebody before they've actually happened. Now we've discussed all the negativities and risks associated with disclosing your plans. It's time to teach you the tremendous power of secrecy. When you keep your plans private, you give your brain a room for emotions associated with them, without having them influenced by external forces. This allows you to work with more focus and clarity, which not only increases your productivity, but also saves you from unwarranted external criticism and views which might waste your valuable time. This privacy lets you to be in state of full concentration, focus, and momentum. This psychology of flow is talked by many psychologists. According to Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, a well-known psychologist, flow is a state of deep immersion and concentration, a state which allows a person to not only focus in its work, but also allows to enjoy the work or activity. It's the sensation you get when you're totally focused on what you're doing and time seems to stop. Peak performance, creativity, and productivity are frequently linked to flow. When you reveal your accomplishments and announce them to the world which had no idea of your plans, that feeling of surprising them with success is unmatched. Now, this is the feeling which gives real serotonin rush and brain releases the happy hormones. This strategy is a game changer. It's extremely underrated, and it should be implemented more. It puts you at psychological and practical advantage and makes you stay ahead of your peers. Sun Tzu's concept of concealment is something every individual should be aware of. According to Sun Tzu, be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby, you can be the director of the opponent's fate. This principle teaches us to be extremely subtle in actions and approaches. It confuses enemies and prevents all kinds of interference and outside forces which are working to sabotage your plans. This strategy puts you in advantage not in life, but also in war. It is widely known to be taught in military. Here's a timeless reminder from Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. Napoleon Bonaparte once said, "The reason I beat the Austrians is they did not know what I was going to do next." Even her closest friends and family were not aware of Sara Blakely's creative concept and innovative ideas for footless pantyhose prior to the launch of Spanx. Blakely developed her invention quietly, secretly, and methodically, rather than releasing her idea too soon and announcing it to the world that this is what she's planning on doing. But how did the creative idea came into her head? While preparing for a party, she felt dissatisfied and annoyed with the lack of comfy knickers and had the idea for Spanx. To get a smoother, more attractive appearance, she cut the feet off her pantyhose. And when she created that idea, she started the research about different hosiery designs, fabrics, clothes, and all the production process. She worked quietly because of risk if sabotaging it and the risk of getting discouragement from others if she announced it. Once her patents were in place, she worked with manufacturers to create prototypes. Again, maintaining a low profile to prevent competitors from catching wind of her plans. This secretive approach allowed Sara to work with more focus, concentration, and flow, which made Sara work with more creative freedom and clarity of mind. And when she launched Spanx into the market, it was totally polished and ready-made product, which made Spanx a huge success. About keeping her idea secret, Sara Blakely said, "It's important not to let anyone talk you out of your idea, especially if they don't understand it. I didn't talk to anyone about my idea until I had it protected, because I didn't want anyone to get in my head or tell me I couldn't do it." Another perfect example of how keeping a business idea a total secret in its early stages may be a successful tactic is provided by Uber's transformation from a covert startup to one of the most successful corporations in the world. Initially known as Uber Cab, the project started with a firm knowledge of the value of confidentiality in order to prevent unwarranted inspection and sabotage. Before releasing the app to the public, Travis Kalanick, Garrett Camp, and his team purposefully kept its development a complete secret and confidential and tested it on a limited, supervised user base. With this strategy, they were able to concentrate on improving their technology, understanding customer requirements, and launching the product without being sidetracked by external forces or the demands of the general public. At one occasion, Travis Kalanick said, "One of the keys to Uber's success was staying under the radar long enough to work out the kinks and surprise people with how well it worked when it launched." Now we have discussed the inspiring examples of the successful business people and entrepreneurs. Why not talk about an historic figure now? Yes, let's talk about Alexander the Great. One of the most well-known historical figures to illustrate the need of secrecy and strategic preparation in achieving greatness is Alexander the Great. He carefully considered every move he made during his military battles and frequently kept his tactics a secret from his enemies. His capacity to carry out surprise attacks was his most well-known use of secrecy. Example: talking about his secretive military tactics, Alexander defeated the Persians decisively at the Battle of Gaugamela by tricking them into a weak spot with a pretended retreat and then launching a surprise counterattack. Moving on the most important segment of our discussion today, let's talk about what steps you need to take to keep your plans and ideas secret before making them a great success. Cultivate self-discipline. Develop self-confidence and self-belief. Make consistent efforts in transforming your dream into reality. Build a trusted inner circle for support and encouragement. Have a small support group. Focus on action, not words. Embrace the power of silence. Surprise the world with your accomplishments, not ideas. There's no doubt that disclosing the plans and goals give a sense of having already achieved them, and they allow brain to release reward chemicals and happy hormones to give a temporary happiness. But this temporary happiness in reality is only temporary, and the rush of reward chemicals is temporary too. Thus, to gain true happiness, which is as permanent as you want it be, you need to stop sharing every little detail of your plans to others. You need to surprise them with your work and accomplishments. It is essential to give up the concept of external validation to keep yourself content. Rather, focus on work and only work to become a great success. What are you waiting for? Start right now. Implement all the practical tips to keep your plans secret and confidential, and make your name known to the world by your success, not your words. If you found this video inspiring and helpful, give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Let's help each other. Let's save each other from self-doubts and sabotaging the plans by external forces, and let's make ourselves and the world a successful place.